The foil dinner that didn't get thrown away. Hello, this is Randy, and welcome back to Brain Break with Randy and Keitho. I wanted to tell you another story back from my scouting days. I was able to spend a number of years, not sure I even have ever added up the number of years that I spent working with explorer age and varsity age scouts. I spent a shorter time with Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, but worked with them as well. The story tonight, which you probably have guessed by the title, is the foil dinner that couldn't get thrown away. The boys in this group were 16 to 18. When they turned 18, they wanted us to keep going with us because we always had fun. One of those activities was going up into the mountains east of Phoenix and spending the night and then going shooting the next day. Now, boys that are boys love two things, cars and guns. Later on, they develop a taste for sports sometimes and girls, but always cars and guns or things with a motor. So we went up into the mountains to this really gorgeous area. And when we pulled in, we were the only ones camping in this fairly remote place. And we had foil dinners. And we assembled them on site. I think we had pork chops. And there was corn on the cob, some potatoes. I throw cabbage on to protect mine from burning on either side. And I think I may have put some chicken broth in mine. I'm not sure if everybody did that. But then you put them on top of some coals and let them cook, turn it over. And, 20 minutes or so, you've got an amazing meal. We had a good group. We had a tent there that was big enough for all of the boys. I think that was like 8 boys. Then the leaders slept in a separate tent. I had all the boys take their foil dinner wrappers and anything else to do with food and lock it in the trunk. Well, one boy several times kept saying he did it, but he didn't. He kept putting it in the fire. Well, that night we got visited by a bear, just a black bear. But he was looking for that foil dinner. He could smell it. And so he got into the coals of our fire, which were cold. And he went and started messing around with that, chased him off. I can't remember what the next animal was. I'm thinking it was a coyote. Same thing. This same boy opened the trunk up, showed him where the garbage sack was. He closed the trunk and said he did it. He didn't do a thing. So twice now, we've been woken up by wild animals. And I've got 8 boys and another leader. I'm just furious. This boy is not making me happy. I think he knew that he wasn't going to get taken home. If we had an extra vehicle, he would have been taken home and an extra leader to take him home. But that didn't happen. So the third time we get disturbed, I'm fed up. I need my beauty sleep. I really need my beauty sleep. So I come out and I've got a 9mm, a pistol, semi-automatic, and sold that gun to a dear friend and still miss it. It was a great gun. It was the former police chief's gun in Fresno, California. It is a great gun. But anyway, I come out and I've got a flashlight, a big 5D cell flashlight. This is back in the days when that was about as bright a flashlight as you could get. And I've got it in one hand and I'm using it to support my gun in my other hand. And I see a skunk digging at this foil. Well, I shoot into the ground and the skunk startles, but he doesn't leave. He likes that foil. He wants whatever's left in it. And so this time I shoot at the skunk. And let's put it this way. I think I shot like 6 or 8 rounds at the skunk to get it to leave. It did leave. I made the boy come out with me, and with a shovel, we dug it out of the fire, and we put it into the trunk the way it should have been done from the beginning. And miraculously, we weren't disturbed at all the next day. So we get up. As I said, by the time we went to bed, we were all alone in this campsite. It was a fairly primitive campsite. I mean, it's just a wide spot. off of a road in a park, national park, I guess. We are surrounded by people. Luckily, none in the direction where I fired the gun, but I mean, we have some bikers that are near us. We have people with other people that had tents, and the boys are so noisy, I didn't hear them set up. The boys hadn't either, but there were a couple of motorhomes. And as we are finishing breakfast, up shows the sheriff's deputy and a couple of rangers. I tell the boys and the other leader, we need to pack up and get out of here. It's time to go shooting. And so we did. We went to where we were going to go shoot. We had a good activity. And on the way out, one of the rangers stopped us. And he said, weren't you guys camping up at, and he named the place. And I said, yes, sir, we were. And he said, did you hear the gunfire last night? And I said, we did. And I was waiting for him to say, was that your gun? And he never asked me that question. So I didn't have to lie. Let's put it this way. That young man didn't get to go on any activities for quite a while. He had ruined that activity for a lot of people because they were terrified. I mean, somebody drove back to the road. This is probably before cell phones were really popular, if they were even out. And I can't remember exactly when it would have been. I guess I could figure it out. But I'm happy to tell you that young man is, well, he had his moments growing up. He's now turned into a pretty good kid. You know, some of the young men that are with me on that activity are probably listening to this and going, no. But he's much better than he was. Let's put it that way. Now, I guess my point is, one, foil dinners are great. Shooting is fun. But there's a reason you keep food away from wild animals. And if it had been in the trunk, they would have come by, sniffed everything and left. But as it was, they were in our campsite and could have been a danger to all of us. I mean, for all I know, the coyote could have had rabies. The skunk could have had rabies. I don't know. Bear could have had rabies. But anyway, it was a short night for all of us, leaders especially. We had a good activity, but after that, I mean, and I went home and talked to the parents of the young man, and, you know, they said, oh, it wouldn't happen again. I said, well, I know it's not going to happen again, but it was kind of frustrating. So I guess what I would say is I learned a lesson. I learned that it's fun to have fun with young men. Foil dinners are excellent. Two, unfortunately, there's some people you just can't trust. You have to make sure by verifying, or as President Reagan used to say, trust but verify. That was a hard lesson for me to learn. I'd never had it happen before when somebody would tell me they did something, lie right to my face. I think it was, I don't know if he thought it was funny or what, but it was frustrating and a little bit dangerous. So thank you for spending time with me again with Brain Break with Randy and Keitho. I hope you'll like and subscribe. Please tell your friends and family about us. We love hearing your comments and feedback. Your feedback gives me ideas for additional stories. In fact, this came from somebody that had asked a question. So I appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow.